Ukraine has reportedly killed a Russian general who died in an explosion in Moscow. Lieutenant General Igor Krylov was at the entrance to a residential block when a device hidden in an electric scooter blasted. Sources in the Ukrainian security services reportedly says Lieutenant General Igor Krylov was a legitimate target. We have more in this report.
24 hours ago, Lieutenant General Igor Krylov was charged in Kyiv for the use of banned chemical weapons in Ukraine. He had already been sanctioned by the United Kingdom and other nations for his role in Russia's use of chemical weapons. Lieutenant General Igor Krylov, who was the head of Russia's radiation, chemical and biological protection troops, was accused by the West of overseeing the use of chemical weapons on the battlefield in Ukraine. In Russia, he was viewed as a tireless patriot, fighting for the truth and exposing Western crimes. Russian officials say Igor Krylov and an aide were killed by explosives planted in an electric scooter, which was blown up as he left the building he lived in on southeastern Moscow. He had become popular for explosive briefings at the Russian Defense Ministry, which prompted the UK's Foreign Office to label him as a significant mouthpiece for Kremlin disinformation. On the eve of his killing, Ukraine's security service declared that he had been named in absentia in a criminal case for the mass use of prohibited chemical weapons on the eastern and southern war fronts in Ukraine. The apartment block in southeast Moscow where his death occurred has been cordoned off. Russian investigators are milling outside with armed police on patrol.
In Russia's Kursk border region, the U.S. says North Korean troops have been killed fighting Ukrainian forces. It's the first reported casualty since October, when North Korea sent about 10,000 troops to reinforce Russia's war effort against Ukraine. Ukraine's military intelligence agency also says at least 30 North Korean troops have been killed, with some wounded in fighting over the weekend. Speaking to reporters, Pentagon Press Secretary Major General Pat Ryder said the U.S. believed North Korean soldiers had engaged in combat in Kursk alongside Russian forces and suffered casualties. It didn't give specific numbers. And for more on the war between Russia and Ukraine, global affairs analyst Hamudemo Sigodi joins me live from Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Thank you for joining us on The World Now. Help us understand the implication of North Korean troops being involved in this conflict and what it says about the evolving dynamics of this war.
Thank you so much. First, we must understand that the war between Russia and Ukraine has gone beyond a war fought in Europe. It has taken a global dimension. With the action and activities of NATO and its allies in that war, we've also seen that there is a rebirth, a tactical rebirth of the post Cold War era, or sorry, the Cold War era, where we had the constant battle between NATO and, of course, the Warsaw Pact allies. So that exactly seems to be what we are having. So you see North Korea coming into the fray of this war, China tactically being behind Russia, and of course Ukraine enjoying the support of a lot of NATO countries and a lot of other European countries. So it tells you the global dimension of the war. And interestingly, that war, like I said, has gone beyond the shores of Europe. We've seen it also an explanation or a proxy of it being fought here in Africa, with what we saw happen in Mali, with Ukraine saying, a Ukrainian general saying they actually supported some of the rebels that attacked the Malian army some months exactly in August, and a whole lot of other dynamics of events that have played out. So it tells the dynamics, the global dynamics of this war. Indeed. It is essentially a war west and the east.
So now we've seen reports of about 30 North Korean troops being killed. and with some wounded. How do you think these casualties would influence North Korea's support of Russia in the ongoing conflict?
Well, I think North Korea also understands very well that the annihilation of Russia in this war would also mean that the support it has always gotten. Don't forget that Russia has played a very major role in blocking sanctions against North Korea in the Security Council. By a major role, there have been several times that some resolutions of the Security Council were vetoed by Russia, and some I do not see North Korea stopping its support to Russia. It's a kind of, a collaboration thing. Russia has always been there for North Korea. I think North Korea is rendering its support now to Russia, also as a tactical way of also announcing itself to the world as a major superpower. Don't forget that this major superpower is something that you cannot also throw under the carpet in this whole discussion. North Korea is seeing itself this as an avenue. The same way China also announced itself as major superpower in the heat of the Second World War. And now North Korea feels that, well, this could also be an avenue to, dig foot in the sand through this war.
What do you anticipate to be the international community response to North Korea's direct participation? Are there consequences both on a regional and global level?
Well, it will be neither here nor there, because, like I said, any resolution, any major resolution will be the one from the Security Council, and you can be sure that that will not sail through with the presence of China and Russia. Well, at the level of the United Nations, General Congress, well, that may sail through the General Assembly. That may sail through. However, that will not have as much effect. Yes, you will see sanctions coming in from, let's say, the United States and let's say maybe the United Kingdom. But that, I do not feel that would have a strong impact. This is not the first time. North Korea is not strange, or a stranger to sanctions like this. And I'm sure that they would always believe that with the presence of Russia and China, whatever sanctions are coming, they will definitely feel free. So the international community, particularly those who are NATO allies, will definitely sanction North Korea. But then I do not feel that this would have any strong impact in reducing their strength or their interest in this current, in this ongoing war.
Global Affairs analyst Amada Musibodi, thank you so much for your thoughts on this development.